A terrified child makes a heroic call.
My dad is drunk and he's the only one driving. He's driving really fastly.
The message for anyone who's had a few drinks and gotten behind the wheel. Plus, most of us treat dogs like family, but First Coast News finds hundreds of dogs are dying at Florida racetracks. And it's video that makes your jaw drop. The risky job where simple mistakes can be deadly. First Coast News starts now.
You're about to hear a phone call that's hard to forget, but it is important to remember. That phone call was made by a terrified 9-year-old girl.
And that little girl called police because she was scared she was going to die. She told the 911 operator that she was in the car with her father, who was driving drunk.
And that decision to call 911 may have saved her life, her father's life, and the lives of people driving on the streets that night. First Coast News reporter Stephen Dial listened to that phone call and picks up the story from here. Stephen.
Anthony, this is an emotional 911 call from a 9-year-old girl. We aren't saying her father's name or showing his face to protect that girl's identity, but we hope that her brave call to police sends a strong message to never drink and drive.
I don't know where he's taking me.
A frantic 911 call from a 9-year-old girl.
I know my dad is drunk and he's the only one driving, and I think I'm going to get into a wreck.
She and her little sister helpless and alone in the car with their father in Glenn County.
Your dad is drunk and he's the only one driving. Where are you right now? Are you in the car with him?
Yes, and he's driving really fastly, and I think I'm going to get into a wreck and kill myself.
Frightened, she told the dispatcher she didn't know where they were.
I don't know where I am right now. Daddy, stop the freaking car. Stop the car. Pull over somewhere.
They ended up at her grandparents' house, and a short time later, police arrived. The officer said her father was visibly intoxicated. He was slurring his words and had trouble standing. The police report says he admitted to drinking half of a fifth of vodka outside of his parents' home. The officer, though, didn't buy his story. The father was arrested and charged with DUI.
Now, that father is facing multiple charges, including driving with a suspended or revoked license. Anthony.
Stephen, that phone call is so hard to hear. Thank you for bringing us that story tonight. We're following a developing story out of Clay County. A man is dead for being shot by the SWAT team in Orange Park. This all happened in the Tanglewood neighborhood around 5:30 this afternoon. The sheriff says they were trying to serve a drug warrant. That's when the man pulled out his weapon and pointed it at them. Officers then opened fire. Detectives are now questioning about 4 other people who were in that house. This SWAT situation actually happened in the same neighborhood where Sheriff Daryl Daniels had his first community walk last month. Neighbors told the sheriff about drug activity in their neighborhood.
Tonight, a teenager is in critical condition after a triple shooting that injured 2 other teens. This happened this afternoon on Alderman Road in Arlington. 3 nearby schools were locked down for a few hours as a result, and police are now trying to identify the shooter or shooters. Witnesses say that a car full of teenagers was waiting in a walkway for the victims to go by. Once they did, someone opened fire. Now, this comes one day after a brawl broke out between about 15 to 20 people in that same area. Witnesses told us today's shooting was in retaliation. Police, though, have not yet said whether the 2 incidents are connected.
Right now, I want you to take a look at your screen. Your help is needed finding a missing father and daughter who may be in danger. This is Edward Flanagan and Margaret Mannion. Before they went missing, they were stopped by police for driving the wrong way on I-95 in Woodbine, Georgia. They were only given a warning and sent on their way. If you know anything about their disappearance, you're asked to call 911 right now.
First Coast News viewers are weighing in tonight on the topic of guns in schools. We ask you live on Facebook this evening to tell us in just one word the reason you think guns are being brought to school. The most prominent answer we heard, bullying. Some of you also said fear, gangs, and power. In the past few days, 5 guns have been found in Duval County schools. Superintendent Dr. Nikolai Vitti says Duval has a gun problem. He met with parents tonight about it, and some of them are not satisfied with his solutions.
I think it was crap, honestly. Basically, all of them said they're not going to change anything, that they like the way things are going. You bring a gun, boom, you should be expelled. There's discipline. There should be a black and white discipline, boom. There should not be a gray area in discipline.
And now this mother believes that there should be metal detectors in all schools and says that the price of it shouldn't be a factor. The safety of children is most important. And our Ken Amaro spoke with some elementary students this afternoon to hear their ideas for solutions on the gun problem. You can find that story, very interesting perspective. It's on our website, firstcoastnews.com.
We're digging deeper tonight into a serious issue right here in our community. They're fast, powerful, and running in what can be a deadly race. We're talking about greyhounds and a strange law that keeps the tracks open. Our Jeannie Blaylock has more tonight.
Groups like Gray 2K USA say greyhound racing is killing dogs. In fact, I talked with their executive director in Boston, Kerry Teal, and he says, look at this video. It is disturbing to watch.
4 and 8 will battle it out for the lead through that first turn, and the 4 is your leader.
Look, what you're seeing here is a 2-year-old greyhound named Shorty's Baby Doll that died at Orange Park on November 30th. This is a young dog that died for nothing.
State records show since 2013, 52 greyhounds died at the Orange Park Kennel Club or its affiliated sites.
You know, Florida is now home to roughly 2/3 of all remaining dog tracks in the United States.
So let's dig into that some more because things could be changing in Florida.
We're racing in the 15th.
You go to the dog tracks and they're running to empty stands.
Rick Descharme of First Coast No More Homeless Pets believes the days of dog racing are over.
The public just doesn't tolerate abuse of animals for their entertainment anymore.
Like the orcas of SeaWorld or elephants at the circus, he thinks greyhound racing has outlived its relevance. But they can't stop racing.
It only exists because of the state dog racing mandate.
Teal is referring to a 1997 Florida law. It required tracks that added poker tables to maintain 90% of the races they ran before the bill passed.
If these tracks were not being forced to hold thousands upon thousands of races, greyhound racing would already be on its way to ending in Florida.
In fact, a 2013 state report found that Florida's greyhound tracks lose upwards of $30 million a year. Dan Adkins, vice president of a Hallandale Beach track, recently told lawmakers, quote, "We have a product that the audience is not interested in." A so-called decoupling bill would let casinos stop racing, but it has failed the last few legislative sessions in Florida. This year, though, it's widely expected to pass. However, greyhound breeders oppose the bill, as lobbyist Jeff Kottkamp told a Senate committee last week.
It's a death sentence for the 10,000 jobs of people that support the greyhound industry. And it's a death sentence for the 8,000 racing dogs who will be put at risk by decoupling.
We also reached out to Best Bet, which operates the Orange Park Kennel Club. Their response? At all times, first-rate medical attention is provided to these dog athletes, and all decisions on how to treat these animals is made in consultation with qualified veterinarian care specialists.
So it just seems like everybody agrees that if this passes, this could possibly eliminate dog racing in Florida right away.
You know, Jeannie, I'm so glad that we're talking about this issue because I'm sure a lot of people probably don't even know that this is happening. And you showed me some disturbing video. It was, I believe, a white dog that collided with another. Do we know how that greyhound is doing?
Well, what you're talking about happened last night at the Orange Park Kennel Club, and that dog had a horrible crash. It could not finish the race. In fact, 3 dogs last night at Orange Park Kennel Club could not finish their races either. So the question, as you ask, is are they okay? And we don't know. Because if a dog dies, state law says the track has to report it. They have to make it public. But if a dog is injured, they don't at this point. But there are hearings in Orlando this week to try to force a change and make it public when a dog is hurt.
Jeannie, thank you so much for bringing this story to us. I know you're going to stay on top of it.
Tonight, a city councilman is insisting a public vote is necessary to decide whether or not to expand Jacksonville's human rights ordinance. Bill Gulliford told First Coast News that he'll get the measure to voters somehow. You may remember the proposal died last year before residents ever got a chance to vote on it. The council is set to vote on the bill February 14th.
Well, they are some of the most gifted athletes I've ever watched. I'm talking about these gymnasts that you see right here. And they're coming to compete in Jacksonville March 18th. You see, the reason is because the Jacksonville Sports Council will be hosting for the first time in 7 years the SEC Gymnastics Championship. And tonight, our Honey Rodriguez spoke with local athletes with big hearts and even bigger dreams.
Lindsay Knox is a 7-year-old gymnast with big dreams.
I would love to go to the Olympics.
She's been doing gymnastics since she was 2 years old. You better watch out, Simone Biles, because Lindsay means serious business. But all gymnasts start somewhere. Jacksonville's own Olympic gold medalist Shannon Miller says she was about Lindsay's age when it all started.
It was a gym a lot like this, and I got to jump in a pit and do somersaults, and what's not to love about that? And for me, it was just from then on, that's all I wanted to be, was a gymnast.
At the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Miller won gold. With 7 medals, she became the most decorated gymnast in U.S. history. She says it was a dream come true. A dream that might also become a reality for some of these girls.
First it's nerve-wracking, but then once you do it, it's over with and it's fun.
15-year-old Ella Burgess says she loves competing. One of her dreams is to one day compete at the SEC Gymnastics Championship. Jacksonville Sports Council announced it's hosting the event in the River City next month.
They will totally inspire you to really come in the gym and work hard each and every day and know that there is that great way that you can expand your gymnastics and really follow your dreams along with your education.
Although it's not always easy, these girls tell me it's totally worth it. And they've got a great life lesson to share.
Sometimes it hurts, but I get straight back up.
In Jacksonville.
Wow, that was Honey Rodriguez. She's okay, and she's an amazing
goodness,
gymnast.
yeah. I mean, it's a tough sport. You definitely have to be strong.
But it's exciting. It's coming here to Jacksonville. Hey, for all of you How to Get Away with Murder fans, you're going to want to keep it right here on ABC 25.
Yeah, Charlie Weber, you probably know him as Frank. He is going to be on Jimmy Kimmel right after the newscast, so stay right here. Plus, I love this. Reading those mean tweets with NFL stars, you gotta stick around.
It's exploration defined as an extreme sport.
You guys are just crazy.
So dangerous, simple mistakes can be deadly.
Divers are drawn to explore it, but this Florida cave has already claimed 11 lives.
That's next on First Coast News.
In the 1500s, the map of the world looked a lot like this, and nobody knew what lay beyond the edge of this map.
And since then, explorers have climbed Mount Everest. They've even landed on the moon, but there are still places for which there is no map. Ariane Schindler spoke to 2 men who pushed the boundaries of endurance and human imagination, exploring the source of our most important natural resource.
It's a very primal fear. Being in a small space that's filled with water horrifies some people.
Claustrophobia? Deep, dark place.
It's a deep, dark place.
Dr. Andrew Pitkin and his colleague Brett Hemphill dive Florida's vast network of underground caves, mapping and exploring spots that few have ever been to, and even fewer would care to go.
Some divers would look at that and go, you guys are just crazy.
To fight the current, divers use underwater scooters that allow them to swim for miles. Some caves run as deep as 400 feet, with passages so narrow the divers can barely squeeze through.
It might be like somebody who's, free climbing El Capitan in Yosemite, as opposed to somebody who's just going for a hike, and looking at the nice scenery in terms of the logistics and the effort and the level of experience involved.
Eagle's Nest in southwest Florida is often described as the Mount Everest of cave diving.
It's very easy to get deep quick, which also adds to the potential danger for this site.
A placid pond on the surface, it plunges 200 feet before branching out into narrow and complicated tentacles. It has earned a reputation for lethality, a fact reflected in signs above the surface and below.
There should be no misinterpretation of that. The signs say that in no uncertain terms, that they will not come out alive.
Such was the case in October, says Hernando County Sheriff Al Nienhuis. 2 experienced divers went in, both failed to surface.
Like many sports, very dangerous, and if you make one mistake, it can have very tragic consequences.
He got stuck in this restriction right here.
When the bodies were found, only 1 diver was wearing his underwater breathing unit, called a rebreather.
We do know he got stuck. He got stuck so badly that at some point he decided it would be advantageous to remove all of his equipment and literally left it laying in the dirt, completely intact, completely functioning.
The divers made it nearly 2/3 of the way back, sharing a single breathing apparatus. But air and distance weren't the only challenges.
When he decided to ditch his equipment, he became hopelessly buoyant. Literally had to make his way across the ceiling.
They were the 9th and 10th divers known to have died at Eagle's Nest. And just 4 days after we visited, another death, the 11th. Because the caves are so dangerous, the job of recovering those bodies falls to people like Brett.
It doesn't really affect you till you get home and you go to bed and you wake up and you see your kids the next day, or and then you reflect. For me, it's helped me. I don't want to be that person.
The risks, while real, aren't enough to counter the pull of discovery.
The whole sensation of being where nobody has been before.
There's a real personal sense of accomplishment. We're pushing ourselves mentally and physically, but we're also discovering something as we move forward.
The team has mapped dozens of miles of previously unexplored cave.
And doing some spectacular video so you can see the karst aquifer we live on.
They hope the information and the beauty of the caves helps build respect for the value and fragility of the Floridan aquifer, the state's prime drinking water resource.
It's an amazing place. In the world we live in, truly the best way to protect something is to document it.
Wow, and just looking at that video there.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really beautiful photography.
And so there are some people who want to shut the cave diving down there.
They do. There's actually a petition out, a change.org petition. But these guys say, look, deaths happen in all kinds of sports. This one is dangerous for sure, but nobody tries to close Mount Everest. Nobody tries to close the ocean. People die spearfishing. It's just a calculated risk.
Yeah, that was a fascinating look. It's something we often don't see, to see them down all that way below.
Yeah. And Tim, let's bring Tim into the conversation over here.
Wow.
I know you have a lot of experience in the water. So.
Well, and that's what I was going to say was that I've been in relatively big waves, but never deeper than about 10 or 15 feet. But just having a wave turn me upside down, and for a brief moment, not knowing which way is up to breathe, and yet that's just amazing.
Yeah,
what they do.
yeah, it definitely is one of those, gives you that feeling.
All right, Thank you, Ann, for bringing us this story tonight.
Yeah,
talk about the weather.
Got to remind myself to breathe.
Yeah, we all.
Okay, let's take a look. As we wake up tomorrow morning, we will be facing a cool front, but I emphasize it'll be on the way. So for most of us, one more warm day before the front arrives. You know what, also want to emphasize, it is a weak front. This front will not bring us colder mornings. We're just going to have a cooler day on Saturday because of northeast winds blowing off the cooler ocean. So winds out of the northeast on Saturday. But on Friday, our winds will still be from the west. We'll still have sun. And so in Duval, we're going up to at least the middle 70s. But again, if you like to enjoy the warm weather, enjoy it, because then we're going to cool down at least for a day. Farther off to the west, once again, like the last several mornings, the greatest reduced visibilities because of fog, and more fog than smoke because the fires today weren't big fires. Still, it's going to be out around the Swanee River Valley. The front that is approaching is a weak one, going to be a couple isolated showers, so the greatest risk of that shower activity will be for those of you northwest, north, and northeast of the Okefenokee. On the other hand, you're farthest away from the front. The front will arrive latest. I'm showing middle 70s, but I wouldn't be surprised if a few porch thermometers in St. Johns and Flagler County make it up to 80 degrees because, and again, that cool front will not arrive until Friday night and Saturday. On the beaches, that's where the biggest variation will be because tomorrow the land breeze will last longest, highs of 76 to near 90 degrees. One more day of that ocean looking almost Caribbean-like, but then comes the northeast surge. Remember, that's blowing over the ocean temperature that's 62, so the beaches will have the biggest difference in afternoon highs from Friday to Saturday. Overall, not a bad day. It's just going to be cooler compared to how it's been. Notice the morning lows not any lower, but afternoon highs will be held down by those northeast winds. If you're making choices over the weekend and you'd like a day in which it's not as windy and brighter, well, I think by Sunday afternoon you might even call it super. So let's take a look. Beyond the weekend, we will have a warming trend, temperatures making it into the 70s, possibly 80 before the next front arrives, and that next front might possibly bring us some thunderstorms about mid next week. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. The 24th ranked Florida Gators at home tonight taking on the Missouri Tigers. The Gators wasted no time getting after the Tigers. Let's get to the O-Dome for the highlights. That's the head coach of the Gators, Mike White, and his team. They were passing the ball beautifully early and often. That's Casey Hill over to Kevon Allen. You do you while I do three. Gators opened up on a 9-2 run. They led 48-20 at the half. Kevon Allen with the steal. He gets it to Chris Chioza. Back to Devin Robinson for the jam. Oh, jam. Robinson was not done. Chioza with the alley. Oh, and oh, Director Jack, you know I want the remix. Whoop, here it comes. Because I know you want to see it again. The Gators will go on to win big tonight, 93-54. How about some high school hoops? Providence hosting Baldwin. Stallions looking to go to 19-5. Baldwin, they came out early. That jumper is G-double-O-D good from Courtney Hardage, making it look real easy. But watch this, Zachary Bryant with the jam. He led all scores with 24 points. Stallions at it one more time. Bryant to Jimmy Bean, and he's rising high in the sky. Providence will go on to win this game a final 81-48. And we want to say a big thank you to all of the folks over at University Christian who were so hospitable to the entire First Coast sports team on yesterday for our National Signing Day celebration. We had a great time. You know, they promised me that they were going to do things bigger, badder, and better than last year, and they did. Signs, family, friends, all packed the place. Also want to say a big thank you to Nick Tronti's family out in Ponte Vedra and Sean Wade's family out on the west side of Jacksonville for allowing us to come into their homes and have a party as well. Hashtag Team Sideline. And as I was speaking a few seconds ago about this guy, that's Nick Tronti's party, Shark Nation represented for our 2017 Signing Day celebration. Tronti, as I'm sure you know by now, is taking his talents to Indiana. Thanks to the Tronti family again for allowing us to spend the evening with them. And always post your pictures on Twitter and Instagram using the hashtag Team Sideline. I hope you feel lucky. Your Fantasy 5 winning numbers are on the other side of this timeout.